So you've got this amazing idea, right? Something you're really passionate about. But how do you know if it's actually a business or maybe just a great hobby? Well, today, we're going to dive into a framework that's going to help you answer that exact question. It's all about figuring out just how big your playing field really is and how to turn that brilliant idea into a rock-solid business plan.
And this is the question, isn't it? It's the one every single founder has to face. You've got the passion, you've got the drive, but can this thing you've created actually survive and thrive out there in the real world? The difference so often comes down to one thing: really, truly understanding your market.
And that's where this incredibly powerful little framework comes in. You're going to hear 3 acronyms: TAM, SAM, and SUM. I know, more acronyms. But trust me, these are like your secret weapon for market analysis. They give you a structured way to look at the entire market and then carve out your specific place within it.
To make this all super clear, we're going to walk through it with a hypothetical startup. Okay, so let's imagine we're launching a new online store. We're going to sell really high-quality, ethically sourced coffee beans, shipping them directly to people's homes. Let's see how this framework helps our new coffee company figure things out. First up is TAM, which stands for Total Addressable Market. The easiest way to think about this, it's the entire universe. It's the biggest possible picture of demand for what you offer, assuming there is 0 limitations. Yeah, the key here is that TAM is the theoretical ceiling. It answers the question, if every single person on Earth who could possibly buy my type of product actually did, how massive would that market be? It's your big blue sky number.
And listen, this isn't just pulling a number out of thin air. You don't just guess. TAM is calculated using some pretty established methods. You can do a top-down approach, looking at big industry reports, or you can go bottom-up, estimating the number of potential customers and what they'd spend. The point is, it's a data-driven estimate of that entire universe.
So, for our little coffee bean company, the TAM would be the total global market for all coffee. We're talking every single cup, every bean, sold everywhere from tiny cafes to giant supermarkets. And that number is huge. Let's say it's $500 billion. Super exciting, right? But let's be real. It's not very helpful for our brand new startup.
Which means we need a good old-fashioned reality check. And this brings us to our next step, SAM, the Serviceable Available Market. This is where we start to zoom in from that massive universe and get a whole lot more specific.
So, SAM is the slice of that giant TAM pie that your specific business can actually reach. Are you only shipping within North America? Are you only selling premium high-end beans? All those very real constraints, well, they define your SAM.
Here's a great way to picture it. If TAM is the whole pie, then SAM is the specific slice of that pie you're actually equipped to go after. It's your target market, but filtered by the real-world facts of your product and your geographical limits. Back to our coffee brand. We're not selling to everyone on the planet. We're an online store selling premium beans, and we're starting out by only shipping to North America. All of a sudden, that $500 billion universe shrinks way down to a much more focused $50 billion market. Now that's our SAM. See the difference?
Okay, so we've gone from the whole universe to our slice of the pie. Now it's time to hit the bullseye. This is SUM, the Serviceable Obtainable Market. And I gotta tell you, for your actual business plan, this is the most important number of them all.
SOM is where you have to be brutally honest with yourself. You're not the only coffee company in your SAM, right? Of course not. You've got competitors, you've got a limited budget, and a small team. SOM forces you to ask, given all of that, what can we realistically capture in the near future? And this means asking yourself some pretty tough questions, like who exactly are we up against? What resources, time, money, people do we actually have? And how are we going to convince those first customers to choose us over everyone else? Your honest answers to these questions are what define your obtainable market. So for our coffee startup, after all that honest assessment, maybe we think we can realistically capture, say, just 2% of those online premium coffee shoppers in our first year or two. And that gives us our SOM, a tangible, actionable target of $5 million. Now that is a goal you can actually build a business plan around.
Okay, so now we have our 3 numbers, TAM, SAM, and SOM. But these aren't just for a fancy spreadsheet to impress people, nope. They are the actual foundation of your business strategy. Let's pull it all together.
So let's just recap it real quick. TAM shows you the grand vision, the total potential out there. SAM defines your playground, the specific market segment you're actually aiming for. And SOM? SOM is your starting line. It's that concrete short-term goal that you can really go out and win.
So why does all this matter so much? Because it forces you to think like a strategist. Your SOM, that defines your immediate sales and marketing plan. And the gap between your SOM and your SAM, well, that shows you exactly where your future growth can come from. This is what investors want to see, by the way. It proves you're not just a dreamer with a big idea, you're a planner with a credible roadmap to capture your piece of the market and then expand.
So, I'll leave you with this question. Forget about the entire universe for just a second. What's your bullseye? What piece of the market can you realistically go out and capture in the next 1 to 3 years? Seriously, answering that question is the very first step to turning your fantastic idea into a real thriving business. Thanks for tuning in.